Excited about Starfield on September the 6th? Not sure how to approach your customization yet, but you're trying to avoid spoilers? I got you covered. Let's break down the complete customization options of Starfield right now. First up, profile selection. The first step in your customization journey is to select a base model as a canvas for your spacefarer in Starfield. I listed each option as a chapter below in the description if you need it. There are 40 options available to show amazing diversity, uniqueness, and individuality. Once you select a canvas to start with, you get to move on to body customization. Under body customization, you get to choose between 3 major categories of thin, muscular, and heavy to determine the overall makeup of your character. You have a choice between 2 body types, 2 walking types, and 9 skin tones. Next up, face customization. Once you have selected your body type, you get to move on to face customization. This by far is the most complex and simplified facial customization process I've ever seen in a video game. It is respectful, tasteful, and intentional to give everyone an opportunity to express themselves as a character in Starfield. The first option allows you to readjust your skin tone as needed as before on the body customization page. You are offered 9 different head shape options that can all be individually refined for how square, how wide, how round, and how thin you may want your character's head to be. Next up are 45 different hairstyle options. A personal favorite from my chat was the dreads. I thought this part of the customization was especially generous, as it's hard to find hairstyles that I use myself personally. Also, it's hard to find others that I see others use frequently with longer hair. This was well done. Next up, you have 23 different hair color combinations to choose from. This was incredible. You have just about any color you want for your character. You will have 20 total facial hair options for your Starfield character. If you've ever played Red Dead Redemption 2, you know that facial hair customization options can get pretty interesting. This captures the same vibe and gives you plenty of options to show off that burly beard, goatee, or mustache. You're also given the same 23 colors as an option to color your facial hair. Next up is eye customization. You're given 11 preset eye canvases that can all be adjusted up, down, for how narrow or wide they are. You can also scale them up and down and back and forth on your character's head. A nice feature that was shown in these options was how you may want to blend any preset with additional shape blends to give your character even more uniqueness. You are given 12 eye color options to make your eyes the exact color you want them to be. You're then given 10 eyebrow options to make your eyebrows just right. These can also be scaled up and down, back and forth, or for how narrow or wide you may want them to be. And check this, you also have the same 23 color options to match your hair color for your eyebrows. You're given 11 forehead options that can be adjusted for how narrow or wide they are, or how forward or back you would like it to be. We see the blending options return as we saw in the eye customization earlier. Next up, you have 11 nose options that can be adjusted, blended, and adjusted in any direction, just like before. This by far had the most options for the face customization. In a similar way, you're given 11 ear options to customize your character's ears and refine them as needed with blending. You also get slight directional options we have seen throughout the facial customization. You're also given 11 cheek options to adjust your
cheeks. You get to adjust your cheeks. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, my chat looked at me like that too when I said it the first time. It's like, your cheeks? What are we talking about? What's going on?
We see some of the same blending options we've seen before, but it also opens up for more later. You also have 11 canvas options for your mouth that can be adjusted in many directions. As someone who has an underbite, this was the proudest moment for me in my personal customization journey. I can finally give my character the underbite I've always had. Imagine? You're then given 4 different teeth options. You're also given 11 jaw options, 11 chin options, 11 neck options that can all be blended. Fantastic. This was a really cool feature in my opinion, as you're given 18 jewelry options with many different types of piercings. You are given 9 different color options you can add for each piece of jewelry. This is where the customization blew me away. You're given 64 dermostatic options that includes blemishes, freckles, and more that you can add to your Starfield character. This expands with 14 complexion color options, 47 complexion blemish options, 26 scar options, 16 facial forms that can be stacked 2 at a time, and 14 tattoos that can all be adjusted for intensity and color based upon complexion. You're given additional cheek customization options that can be stacked. You also have lipstick, eyeshadow, eyeliner, and even how dirty you want your face to be, which is insane. This truly allows you to be free to express just who you want to be in Starfield. Next up, background customization. There are many different types of preset background options you can choose from in Starfield. Let's look at each one. Be sure to pause for reading each one if you like. I covered any potential spoilers to the story just in case. I got you covered. Once everybody's got a chance to play, I'll break down the background options and what may be the best to start out with based upon your playstyle. I listed all the background options in chapters below in the description if you want to skip ahead. First up is Beast Hunter. As a Beast Hunter, you're given fitness, ballistics, and gastronomy as your starting skills. I covered the description to avoid potential spoilers, but here are the 3 base skills you get to start with. Next up is the Bouncer. The 3 base skills you start with for the Bouncer are boxing, security, and fitness.
These hands are rated E for everyone, and this lets you do just that to start.
Next up is the Bounty Hunter. As a Bounty Hunter, you'll be given piloting, targeting control systems, and boost pack training as your starting skills.
No waiver is left behind as you scan the galaxy for every waiver signer.
Next up is the Chef. As a chef in Starfield, you're given gastronomy, dueling, and scavenging as starting skills. Hungry? The chef background has you covered with great cooking, knife, and scavenging perks. Next up, Combat Medic. Combat Medics get pistol certification, medicine, and wellness to start. This provides a great start for anyone trying to know just what to do in a pinch in the galaxy when things can go wrong. Next up, Cyber Runner. As a cyber runner, you'll start with stealth, security, and theft. This allows you to embrace your inner kleptomaniac in Starfield. Next up, cyberneticists. All cyberneticists are given medicine, security, and lasers to start. If you believe human androids are the future of humanity, then this is the background for you. Next up, diplomat. Diplomats get persuasion, commerce, and wellness to start in Starfield. Can you talk your way out of anything? Well, this is the background for you. Next up, Explorer. As an Explorer, you're given lasers, astrodynamics, and surveying to start your character. Looking to search the final frontier of space and find everything the galaxy has to offer? This is the background for you.
Now we got the gangster. Yeah.
As a gangster, you'll be given shotgun certification, boxing, and theft to start in Starfield. Hey, so if you're into The Godfather, forceful antics, and taking what's yours, this is for you. Also, thank you in advance. Next up, Homesteader. Homesteaders get geology, surveying, and weightlifting to start. This gives you that great start as a country spacefarer to search the many planets and moons of Starfield for a new home. Thank you kindly. Next up, Industrialist. Industrialists get persuasion, security, and research methods to start in Starfield. If you love corporate space and love to find ways to climb the Tower of Success, this is the background for you. Next up, Long Hauler. Long Haulers get weightlifting, piloting, and ballistic weapon systems to start in Starfield. If you love the open road of space, then this is the space trucker background you're looking for. Next up, Pilgrim. Pilgrims get scavenging, surveying, and gastronomy to start in Starfield. If you love the great journey and want to just move on to the next adventure, then this is the background for you. Next up, Professor. Professors get astrodynamics, geology, and research methods to start. I do say if you're a teacher at heart and you are just trying to get out of your bloody classroom, then this is the background for you. Next up, Ronin. Ronins get dueling, stealth, and scavenging to start in Starfield. If you love stealth, knife skills, and finding every treasure in space, then this is the background for you. Next up, Sculptor. Sculptors get medicine, geology, and persuasion to start in Starfield. See yourself as the latest creative space philosopher? Then this is the background for you. Next, we have soldiers. Soldiers get to start with fitness, ballistics, and boost pack training in Starfield. Looking to get into the fight and get the job done? Then the soldier background is for you. Next up, we have Space Scoundrels. Space Scoundrels have pistol certification, piloting, and persuasion to start in Starfield. Are you the scum of space and just want to be ruthless in the galaxy of criminals? Then this is the background for you. Next up, Xenobiologists. Xenobiologists start with lasers, surveying, and fitness to start in Starfield. Do you love animals in space? This is the background for you to check out every animal you can find in the galaxy.
File not found. Redacted.
Not sure what to pick, but just want to get going? You can start with the basic background of wellness, ballistics, and piloting to start Starfield. In my opinion, this is the most flexible of all the builds, so if you're unsure, Bethesda's got you covered. Next up, we cover the traits. Traits are a completely optional part of the customization process for Starfield, but can also give you another way to be completely unique in an expansive galaxy. Here are the traits. Feel free to pause if needed, and the chapters are below if you want to read the description. If there are spoilers, I'll cover them up. The first trait is alien DNA. Volunteering is never better with alien DNA at your disposal to experiment on humanity. You get increased health, oxygen, but healing and food items are not as effective. Next up, Dream Home. You have the house of your dreams, but it comes at a slight price that has to be paid weekly for in-game time. At least it's on a peaceful planet.
Oh man, that rent do be high, I tell you, it do be high.
Next is Empath. Do you have a big heart and care about everyone? Then this is the trait for you. Your in-game actions will either give a temporary combat boost or the opposite based on the companion you have with you. Next up, Extrovert. People person 101 and the social butterfly that every space lover strives to be in the form of a trait in Starfield. I know. Cannot be combined with Introvert though. Next, Freestar Collective Settler. Looking to join the Freestar Collective and get better rewards for joining the faction? Then this is the trait for you. Cannot be combined with the other factions though. Next, Hero Worshipped. Everyone's favorite trait from the Starfield Direct is here, and if you love the idea of having an adoring fan, then this is the trait for you. Next up, Introvert.
Introvert, stand up!
If you love to be just left alone and allowed to recharge that social battery, then this is the trait for you. Increase oxygen perks for traveling alone, but less with human companions.
Next up, Kid Stuff.
Another trait that was shown off in the Starfield Direct is Kid Stuff, where you can send credits to your parents each week, but get special items from them. Next up, Neon Street Rat. This is a faction trait based on the city of Neon and getting better rewards from the missions in the city of Neon. Can't be put together with other factions though. Next up, Raised Enlightened. This is one of the religion traits shown in the customization options. This one has a slight spoiler that gives some information about the game's story, so I covered it. This is one that allows special access to specific loot in the game. Next up, Raised Universal. This is the same as the previous trait and has a potential spoiler for the game with additional information. To be on the safe side, it's also covered, but has the same type of perk as the previous trait. Next, Serpent's Embrace. This is the religion shown in the Starfield Direct and grants temporary health boost and oxygen when grab jumping, but is lowered if you don't jump regularly. Next up, Spaced. This trait allows you to be acclimated to space and you receive additional health and oxygen when in space, but it decreases on the surface. Next, we have Taskmaster. Taskmasters receive ship perks when hiring crew in a specific system, but it costs more to hire the crew to attend to the tasks you have for them in the game. This can be a strong, but also pricey to start. Next up, Terraformer. Love keeping your feet on the ground? This is the trait for you as you have increased health and oxygen levels for being on the surface, but it's decreased in space. Next, we have United Colonies Native. United Colonies through and through, Child of Earth. This is another faction-based trait, and it gives perks for United Colonies and cannot be combined with the other factions. And the final trait available is Wanted. Fight like a cornered tiger? World can't hold you down? Then the Wanted trait is for you. This gives extra damage when your health is low, but occasionally mercenaries show up and try to kill you. This rounds out all the customization options for Starfield you see early in the game. Just a reminder that this is purely a starting point and you're given opportunities to change aspects of your customization in the game. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Starfield content, analysis, playthroughs, and more. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the settled systems and the stars. Peace.